Hey, what's up everyone? Today we're going to be talking about the brand new Fuji 27 2.8. Let's get into it. The Fuji 27 2.8 is going to be an updated version of its previous 27 2.8, but we're going to get some nice new features. So we are going to get weather sealing. So this is going to be weather resistant for dust, moisture, and it is going to have an operating temperature down to -14 degrees Fahrenheit. Another big feature that we're getting on this lens is we actually are going to get an aperture ring. Our previous one was also a small pancake lens, but we didn't have that feature. So now we actually are able to control our aperture from the lens, and we do have a locking A mode. So if you're trying to just, get your shot, go on the go, get it really fast, it's nice to be able to have that feature on the lens. This lens is going to have 7 elements in 5 groups. It is going to have a 7-bladed diaphragm, and its minimum aperture is going to be 16, and it's going to be able to open up to 2.8. As for the focusing motor, it is going to be using a coreless DC motor. Now that is going to move all of the groups at once. Now Fuji is saying that this is going to make it silent, accurate, and super fast when trying to autofocus. All right, so if you've seen some of our previous Fuji lens review videos, then you might know that when we get these Fuji lenses, they tend to send it to us pretty early before the release date. So specs are very limited. So that's all I got for you today. But what we're going to be doing today is more about the experience. Going to be shooting with the Fuji X-T4, and like I said, we have the 27 2.8 on here. We're actually here in the heart of downtown Austin on Congress Avenue. So what we're going to be doing is some street style photography for today's video. Let's get right into it. Okay, so we just got finished shooting in downtown. Super fun to shoot with this. I almost feel like I didn't have it with me. To be honest, that's how lightweight that lens was paired with the X-T4. And do you know where we put that? Oh, that's right, guys. It fits in your hoodie pocket. So that's how small it is. So like I was saying, the size of this was just, amazing, and overall, very pleasant to shoot with. If you had something like the XC3 to pair this with, even smaller, more compact. Autofocus, like Fuji mentioned, it was pretty fast. I was only able to review the images on the back screen, but after zooming in quite a bit, they looked very sharp. So overall impressed with this lens and happy with it. I get why they added the aperture ring. So a lot of the adjustments I was making when we were shooting was actually from the aperture ring itself. So I was either stopped down to 16 since it's really bright out here today, or if we got in the shadowed areas, I was jumping down to 5.6. I was here the whole time. So it did make shooting in fast scenarios pretty great. There was a photo when these bicyclists came by and my camera was actually off because I'm trying to conserve the battery. I was able to flip it on and then just right here really fast. And it did a fairly good job of picking them up, even though my shutter speed wasn't set correctly. So overall, impressed with this lens. Now, one thing that I do want to mention that I noticed shooting with it for a little bit, it does not handle, in my personal opinion, flaring very good. There was a shot when I was trying to take a picture of this sculpture and it was a little bit backlit. I mean, the sun wasn't directly behind it, but man, all that light was just getting inside the lens. And then even when I was taking photo of the Paramount Theater sign, a lot of that light was just leaking in, and those images were unfortunately unusable. So just one thing to keep in mind, but overall, I do give this a thumbs up. I think it's gonna be a great street photography lens. That 41mm equivalent is just perfect. Now let's talk about availability and pricing. So at the time of this video, the only information I have in terms of its release date is going to be sometime in February or March. So if I had to guess, let's say late February, early March. If it comes closer to that, we'll definitely put it down in the description. Pricing, this is a huge one for me, guys. So the original version of this was running $450 at one point. This one is going to be retailing for $399. Now, coming from Precision Camera, it's very easy for me to say, you know, $500, $600, like that's an affordable lens. But for a lot of people, it's not, unfortunately. But I definitely think that $399 price point, I think a lot of people are going to be able to get this lens and use it for a variety of different purposes. So if you're looking to get into street photography, then bam, this is the one right here. If you're already a seasoned street photographer, bam, this is the one right here. Those are my thoughts on this 27 2.8. Like I said, I think it's killer, and I think it's a great deal overall for the price you're paying. That's gonna bring us to a close on this video. So once again, remember, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on our next video.